Hello and welcome back to another day. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be working on an EFI car. I saw this little sweetheart sitting back here in the weeds. She was pushed back here, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, and just kind of left for dead. I think this one will be easy to get started, but she's dug down into the ground and there's a bunch of weeds growing up around it. And she's looking kind of sad. So let's get a little new life in her. Let's put a battery in it, see if we can get it cranked up, and then we'll get it up on some wheels and tires and just hope for the best. So let's get to it. All right, so from what I can figure out, I think this is a 2001 3/4 ton Chevy Silverado. I was told it's got a 6.0 in it. So it's either a heavy half or a 3/4 ton. I would assume 3/4 ton, but I'm not 100% sure. We have got all of the spider webs in here. Do we have keys? Nope. Somebody's been in here tearing apart the dash bezel. Radio's gone. Ooh, custom cup holders. That's nice. Front pocket find. CD player. No radio though. Dang it. Center console. Some miscellaneous junk. Ooh, spark plug wires. Brand new. Can't be for this. And new plugs? What? Come on. That's a find right there. We're gonna hold on to that. I'm guessing she's a 3-door. Just dug down in these weeds. Look, they put it on a pallet, but didn't last very long. Actually, surprisingly, not a lot of rust. We are in the Midwest here, and the rust doesn't do too great on these cars. Walk around the passenger side here. Lights are a little torn up. Same story on this side. Somebody's put some custom, what feels like house paint on here. That's confirmed by the door handle being painted. Bedside. This truck's really not that rusty. I'm really surprised. Tailgate missing the handle. July 2016. So probably been closer to about 6 years, just based on the last registration. But let's get the hood open and see what we got. All right, I think we might have gotten lucky and maybe found the key here. Let's see. Yep. Good old Chevy wiggle key, but it works. There we go. Good to go. Let's get the hood open here and see what we got. Looks like 6.0. Bring it in real quick. So we got 6.0. It's got the K&N air filter, you know, for performance, because this truck screams fast. Performance. We got dual batteries. Those are going to be completely shot. So we might just hook up one. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. She's a little greasy. I don't know what the mileage is yet, because we got to put a battery in it. All right, let's go ahead and snatch these out real quick. Looks like some aftermarket battery job here. You know, you want to use speaker wire to wire your batteries in. So let's get these batteries out and see if we can get one in here and crank this thing over. It should crank over on one, no problem. Well, whoever put these batteries in adapted the post to vice grips, because no size socket or wrench will fit this because it's completely rounded off. So we're gonna do the right thing and just clamp a vice grip on there. Should come right out. Look at there. It's almost like I meant to do that. Set those up there so they can get lost. If you guessed that this battery came out of my Ford Ranger, you'd be right, because that's exactly where it came from. All right, so we got plus on the right side, or positive on the right side, I should say. And I think what we're gonna do is just kind of try to rig something up here and clamp that terminal on there. Got a little bit of sparkles. Oh, I heard something. Hey guys, real quick, I just want to thank you for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe to these videos. Let me know I'm doing a good job. Comment, whatever. We do these videos on our own dime. My wife and I have decided that we're going to try and invest some time and money into this enterprise known as YouTube. So I'm having a great time, and I appreciate you guys watching. Now back to the video. So now let me figure out a way to get this to touch, kind of, and bring you guys back in and show you what I found. Now I don't know about you guys, but I see nothing but the most proper install of battery wiring I've ever done. So that's good. All right, let's go in here and turn the key on and see if we get any lights. Oh, we got a dinger. We got security. I don't know if you guys can see anything. There we go. Give her the old wiggle. Well, there we go. 289,486 miles. We're plumb full of gas. All the way. All of it. How much gas? All of it. That's the answer. Okay, so here's the fuel pump. All the way to the floor. Give her one of these. Yeah. She gotta go. We're gonna get in here and check to see if we got fuel up here at the rails. Come on. And we got fuel. Still lots of air. Cycle this key again. Pump sounds strong. I'm gonna give it a try. Okay, take 437 here. Give him the key a little wiggle. Come on, there we go. Oh. So we've got on cranking some kind of unstoppable force meeting an immovable object, and whenever we crank it, it's kind of giving us, it was cranking fine, and then all of a sudden it got a thump and stopped. Battery cable popped off, and we put it back on there, and it's still doing the same thing. My suspicion is that we're hydrolocked, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull some plugs out and see what we find. Hopefully not, but if it is, it's because we got an injector hanging open and just dumping fuel into a cylinder somewhere, which is not good, and that'll shut this whole program down, I think, for the day. Dual battery. I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to look like that. We got something severely wrong with the back cylinder on the driver's side. That's not looking so hot, but I'm gonna keep pulling plugs and see what happens here. I found it, just like I suspected. This cylinder right here is full of gas. So the injector on this cylinder is completely hung open. So what we need to do is probably pop this rail up, pull that injector off, clean it up, and hopefully we didn't mess anything up. Hopefully this being Hydrolock didn't seize this motor up or bend a rod or something. But I don't think it would have, because these are pretty tough. But I've seen it happen. Good news is that the cylinder was still completely full whenever I pulled this out, and it poured out of the top. So usually that means that I've got enough compression in that cylinder that it's not going back down into the case. But that doesn't mean that that rod's not bent. So let's clean all this out, get this plug dried off, put the rest of the plugs back in, maybe put some side post batteries in here and try and crank this thing again. Okay, we got most everything put back together. I unplugged the injector on cylinder 6 here. That was the one that was full of gas, and I left the spark plug out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to crank it real quick and see if it turns over before I try to pull that rail. Okay, so it's spinning, which is good. So we fixed the issue of fuel dumping down into that cylinder. But if you can see down in there, it's completely, absolutely full of gas. So all of our fuel pressure is coming out of the rail and just dumping on the ground because of that. So we're gonna pull this right here, these bolts, pull this cowl off. That way we can just pop this whole thing up. Should just pop right off. Pull that injector, spray it out with brake clean, maybe hit it with some pulses, and see if we can get it to unstick itself. What I'm doing now is I'm just unplugging all my injectors so I can get the whole rail out. All right, there's your injector rail. And if you look, there's our problem child right there. I mean, it's even kicked off to the side. I don't know what in the world happened, but that's our child that's giving us problems. So, you go clean this sucker out. Look at that. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. Clean her out and see if we can get her to fire. All right, there we go, all cleaned up. I'm gonna stab her back in here. Glad I saw that. That's our O-ring for a crossover tube. Okay, so we pulled the rail off, we cleaned that injector. I actually cleaned that whole bank real quick just to make sure that everything was squared away over there. Put everything back together. Now I think it's time to go twist on the key and see what happens. All right. All right, here we go. All right, I tried something else. We're still really just not getting the voltage I want to see, but let's try it. Nope, hydrolocked her again. We need an injector. All right, here we are at the yard in KCK here in Kansas City. We're gonna go find an injector, maybe a couple of injectors, because, you know, this is a junkyard, so nothing's guaranteed. Maybe a couple of plug wires, because I kind of roached a couple of them out. Remember, this is a cheap get her running not really to get her roadworthy because the truck needs a transmission and some other work. So let's go find us a vehicle, get the parts we need, and get out of here. We got the goods. Let's go put them on. Keen-eyed viewers would recognize that it's a little bit later on now. 2 weeks to be precise. I'm back out here working on this thing. I went and grabbed some injectors and a couple of coil wires because I destroyed one last time I was out here, and I think it's going to leak some lightning out all over the place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, get this new injector put in, and then we'll pull that plug out, crank this thing over. I did buy a new battery. I know. We're spending money now. I bought a new battery so that I can drag that around and work on these projects a little bit easier, not have to pull it out of my Ranger. So that being said, let's get this pulled apart. I'll show you guys kind of how I'm going to do this. I'm not really going to do it the best way, but I'm going to do it a way that I know that I can get it done quickly. So let me show you. So right here's your injector rail. Okay, you got 2 bolts that hold this down. You've got 1 bolt that holds this crossover pipe over to the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this little guy out of both sides. This crossover pipe, I can then kind of pull it up just a little bit, enough to get this out from over the top of this injector rail. And then you pull these 2 bolts out, and then you can actually pull the injector rail up. All the injectors will come with it. Make sure you unplug them so you don't tear the connections up. And I mean, yeah, it's fairly straightforward, fairly easy. So let's get to it. Next thing we've got to do is get down here and get this plug out. Ow, son of a gun. Because this is the plug, or the hole, the cylinder that was sticking wide open. So let's get this sucker out. Luckily it's fairly easy to get to. Oh, sorry, obstructing the view there. See if any gas comes out. Should still be completely full unless it leaked down inside the crankcase. Yep, she's soaking wet. All right, so next step is we need to pull the what's it called, the fuse over in the fuse panel over there, and for the fuel pump, and then crank this sucker over, squirt all that gas out, and then put the plug back in, hook everything back up, and then see if she starts. Okay, here we go again. Wiggle, wiggle. Ooh, it's unhappy, but it's going. Come on. Stay running. There we go, we got tack. Got some gas. Stay running. See if maybe we can just clear this thing up a little bit. She's definitely missing bad. Lots of smoke. Sounds like we're only firing on a couple of cylinders, but it's running. got some other clogged injectors, which is highly plausible. I need the check engine light to come on and tell me what I got going on. It could very well be very, very close to out of gas too, because that fuel gauge is telling me low fuel, and I had to put some in it. So I'm gonna try to put a little more gas in it and we'll fire it up again. Well, we got a thunderstorm rolling in, but we got it running. Still got some problems, but it did start. So that'll do it for this Will It Run video. It does run. I don't want to drive it because I don't want to get stranded in this. But there you go. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. I'm gonna get warm.